Welcome to the Behind the Bar podcast. Today we're joined by Gwen, our other workforce host.
Hello.
And we're going to be discussing CVs, cover letters, interviews, everything around getting a job.
Yeah.
And I think the first question is the CV dead?
Oh, I don't know. I think it depends.
I think for hospitality specifically, because hospitality and working a pub tends to be that first role for a lot of people. It's a very entry-level role that it's...
Your first step into the working world.
It is, definitely.
Or even while at school.
Or while you're at school. So you end up not really having much to put on a CV anyway.
Yeah.
And you end up being hired purely from personality of this person has potential or is funny or I can hang around them for 8 hours.
Yeah.
And that's what normally gets you hired.
Yeah. Like you say, it's more the personality. So while the CV is a way of getting in the door, once you're in the door is the deciding factor, not so much the actual paper.
The CV ends up being just, the admin of this is their name, this is their phone number.
Yep.
This
What
is
age
where
are
they're
they?
located. The actual work experience won't be looked for on a CV.
Yeah. I mean, it helps.
It helps, especially if you're looking for a higher role.
Yeah. Because it want to see what kind of leadership stuff you have, or just like, I mean, even a CV could tell you what kind of teamwork you are.
Yeah.
Have.
Teamwork you are.
Teamwork you are. But like if you did, is it Duke of Edinburgh? Like that award when you first started, like that's very much teamwork in high stressful situations. So even seeing that on a CV, you have a bit of an idea. But again, that's personality based, not I did so-and-so skill and I've learnt this and I've learnt that.
Yeah. I think there's still some very valuable stuff to put on a CV. And normally I would recommend for someone who's looking for their first job to frame either school projects or school clubs and frame that in a way that it sounds like an achievement.
Yeah. And hobbies.
And hobbies. And hobbies are very important. So if you went to drama school.
Yeah.
Or drama, not school, but as in if you went to drama club.
Yep.
Or
Sports.
you did sports, or you've done a huge project at school. I would even put that on your CV.
Or like, say you're really creative outside of school or whatever, because while we always talk about, it's a bartender, it's a chef, it's that you also have the side where it's social media, it's presenting everything, or maybe making some decor for the pub. Like, it's all helpful. Yeah. But what if they haven't just come out of school?
If they haven't come out of school, then it's easier because you've got something to put on your CV.
Oh, yes. So true.
You've got something to hopefully you've got something that you can put on your CV. I think it's back to how you frame things. Don't just put, I serve tables. Yeah. Say you've interacted with customers, you've been in a face-to-face role, you've...
Bring it from anywhere.
Yeah, you're a problem solver, you are quick on your feet. They're kind of like buzzwords, but at the same time, they're important to mention. And you may not think to mention them, but put everything you can possibly think of onto your CV. Obviously, don't make it 8 pages long.
1, if we can help it.
Yes.
2, if you've been in a role long.
Yes. But put what you... If you think it's important, put it on your CV.
You mentioned buzzwords, and I know that there has been that rise of AI, and buzzwords are so important when more people are using AI to look at CVs. Because they're looking for certain words, even though you don't want to sound too pompous.
Yes, I think the issue with AI is that it's on both sides, right? Yeah. There are people that are using AI to write their CV for them, and then there's people that are using AI to sift through CVs. And so you want to make sure, one, your CV sounds like you. Yeah. Because if you're using AI to write your CV, which I personally would not recommend.
No.
I would, if you want to use AI, I would use it to ask questions and get advice from, rather than writing it for you. Yeah. Because believe me, they will be able to tell.
Yeah.
They will be able to tell that you've used AI because you'll show up, you'll walk through the door, and
the way you speak doesn't
the way
match
you speak will, will.
I think the AI does help if you were to use AI for your CV. I think it helps, like you say, if you're asking for advice, but also if you're not sure how to find a skill in that job that you've done. So I'm not really sure of an example, but say you did a certain role in retail, but you're like, okay, how do I pull out like the stock skills or that is a shop and returns, and then ask it what do they think the skills,
the transferable skills
come over, and then you yourself word that into your CV.
As long as it sounds like you've got your personal touch.
Yeah.
On your CV, then I think you'll be all good. Speaking about that, because you were mentioning, I've had experiences from a shop or retail. How do I cater that? A lot of people do cater their CVs now, or their cover letters specifically. They change their like when I was starting, I studied media, and so my CV was very media based.
Yeah.
But I was also wanting a job outside of media, so I got a job in marketing. I had 2 separate CVs. I had my film CV and then I had my other CV.
Yeah. I had the exact same.
Because you need to adapt. The thing is that all the jobs that you've done probably won't be relevant. And you can still mention them on both CVs, but you have to cater them. You have to change the wording that it matches and it adapts to the job that you're looking for. So if you've worked in a shop, adapt the wording a little bit and it will work for a pub.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
If you've worked in an office and you want to go into the hospitality industry, adapt the wording a little bit.
Yeah, because say you work in an office and you have to be on the phone to someone, that is still a customer discussion, customer-facing role in a way.
Yeah.
It is still how to manage someone, how to possibly deal with disgruntled customers, which you do find in hospitality, especially when drink is involved.
Definitely, yeah. So it's all about spinning it into your advantage. Yeah. Also talking about adapting CVs, you have to adapt your cover letter. Not every job will ask for a cover letter. I was so excited when I was job hunting and someone didn't ask for a cover letter because I was like, finally I can just hit submit and that be it. But cover letters are important, I say annoyingly. And it's very important that you change the wording. I had a document full of probably 6 versions of my cover letter, all adapted for the role.
Yeah.
I would suggest putting it all in one document and just,
taking bits and pieces from here and there. But that's also another space where you get to show your personality.
Yes.
Even though it's a short, paragraph, 2 paragraphs sometimes, it is still the way you personally say it. And, say you use AI for that, that one is very easy to tell.
That's easy to tell. Be very careful with that.
Because a lot of people that use AI for their cover letters, they will all start sounding the same, and then you'll realise that 5 people say the same thing.
Yeah. You don't want to be that CV that's picked up by the employer, and it's like, they've used AI, chucked to the side.
But you don't trust them.
It's the thing of, they will view you as you haven't put the effort in. You haven't dedicated yourself. You're not actually interested in getting this role. If you can't put 5 minutes into a CV or a cover letter, then I'm not going to spend 5 minutes reading it.
Yeah.
Is the issue. So I highly recommend that you actually write it yourself. Yes, you can look online for advice, for help, for structure, because that's the one I had to constantly look up, the structure of a CV, not a CV, the structure of a cover letter.
Yeah, definitely.
But write it yourself. Yes, it can be laborious, especially if you're applying to 20 jobs, but it will be worth it.
When you talk about personality, where do you sit with personalised CVs like colours and different layouts to make them stand out? Or are you someone who thinks that the simple version should go?
Well, I personally, as a marketing girl, I like a colourful CV. I don't like a photo on the CV.
I don't even think that's not recommended anymore.
It's not recommended anymore. It was recommended when we were in college.
Yeah.
And very quickly not recommended because it creates bias. It creates,
yes.
As much as, people aren't supposed to be. It's subconscious bias. And so no photo. I like a colour. I like putting a bit of colour on mine. I think it's like a pale blue on my current CV. I don't go crazy. It's not like neon green or anything. But
it still shows a bit of personality.
Exactly, yeah.
But going overboard sometimes.
Yeah, don't go overboard. I think still remember professional mindset.
Yep.
But sprinkle a bit of...
Maybe use a different tone somewhere.
Yeah. A bit of personality in there. Back on the whole, is the CV dead? There's now been whispers of video CVs, which I personally hate the idea. That's the thing of nightmares for me.
Yep.
And I know people say, oh, well, Gen Z loves a video CV. I am a Gen Zer.
I get why.
I get it. I get it because it's like, it's short, it's snappy.
But then we fall into unconscious bias again.
You do,
because you see the person.
I think it depends on the role. I think if you're entry level, a video CV could work really well because you don't have the work experience yet. So
you push your personality from
the
get-go.
You push your personality, yeah. And I've heard people that want video CVs. I'm so glad I haven't come across them myself.
Oh, I have.
But it's terrifying. I can understand it being terrifying for someone new. But I don't know. I don't know if they're going to stick. I don't know if they're going to stay.
I think one sort of niche role in a pub, I guess it's not really niche anymore, is if you want to work in a pub but you want a social media or you want a marketing type role in said pub, or maybe you don't know from the get-go but you have an interest in that.
Yeah.
So just doing like a video CV shows you're willing to be in front of the camera, which also helps boost a pub.
That is very true. There are many like pros and cons. I mean, the cons are I'm scared.
And yet we're on a podcast.
Yes. The cons are you get used to it when you're forced to be, not forced. You get used to it when you have to do a podcast.
Yeah.
But the first time putting a phone in front on a stand and pressing record and then watching yourself back is is scary. But it might be the new way moving forward for CVs, or at least with entry-level jobs.
It might replace the cover letter.
It might replace the cover letter.
I can see it replacing a cover letter.
Yeah. And now let's move on to the interview, the infamous interview. If you have been successful enough, if your pale blue colouring of a CV has enticed someone to bring you in, what is the best way, or the best advice to approach your interview?
I think my advice, and it might be like sort of out there, is don't force yourself to be overconfident. Like some people say, oh, walk in there really, really confidently. I'm not saying don't.
You tread the line of being cocky, don't you?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think that if you walk in there, and even if you are pushing yourself to be that confident self, sometimes it feels like arrogance.
Yeah.
Or like you say, cocky. But you want to show, as we keep talking about, the personality.
Yeah.
If that is not your true self, like it is fine to be nervous in an interview. I'm fairly certain I've had an interview where I'm gone, just give me a second. I'm so sorry. But then that's me.
Yeah.
And they can see I'm nervous for the right reasons.
I think the luxury of interviewing for a pub or hospitality, well, specifically for a pub, is that you can go visit.
Yeah.
And it's not like you're walking into an office. Like you could go every single day that week. I mean, I think they might, clock on. They might recognize you, but you could go every single day that week, familiarize yourself with the place, so that when you do go for your interview, you feel a little bit more relaxed. You know where the toilet is. Yep. You know where to park. Yep. You know where the front door is. Like the amount of times that...
It could also help you in the other way of they will see you as a regular. They see that you have some sort of loyalty to the pub in the first place. If it is your local, like say it's a pub that you frequent anyway and there's a job going. Yeah. You are recognisable to them. They know that you know what the pub is like.
Yeah. I think that's... Yes. I think that's how a lot of people end up getting a role in a pub, because it is their local. They have been going for
it's word of mouth
a long
sometimes.
time. Yeah, it is word of mouth. You don't often see, a sign in the window saying hiring.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just hear that they're looking, or, you've got a friend of a friend that's telling you they're looking for someone behind the bar. But knowing the place, and this goes for any job, but specifically for a pub, I think is important. Knowing the venue, knowing the pub, going on their social media, talking to the person behind the bar can really go a long way, because if you seem ignorant or clueless about the business, it won't be a good look for you in the interview.
Yeah, definitely.
I also think there's the basics, right? Show up early, ask questions,
dress,
smartly. I mean, you don't have to show up in a suit. I mean, if you're a guy, you might want to show up in a suit.
Yeah, I think there is that expectation when people look at tips on how to do their interview and it says come in a suit.
Yeah.
Does that really match hospitality? Really? Obviously, I'm not saying just come in some joggers and a hoodie, but
as long
it's
as
not the environment.
As long as you're smartly dressed, if the top that you're wearing needs to be tucked in, then tuck it in. But I don't think, don't feel...
Don't need to show up in a 3-piece suit.
Don't feel nervous that, you haven't got the
right
attire to attend an interview. As long as you show up smart dressed, then you'll be all right. There's also this thing in hospitality of some people, some licensees, some managers want to also meet the parents, which is interesting. I think hospitality might be the only sector where they also want the parents' approval, but also it goes both ways, doesn't it? Because it's passing that parent test of that parent can see the pub, see the licensee manager, whoever's interviewing, and say, yes, this is a great first job for my kid. But
I feel like that comes from the stigma of pubs sometimes. If, say, the parents aren't someone who frequent the pub often and things like that, there is that sort of, oh, this isn't a real job. And being able to prove that it is, prove it is a career, it's viable, it's not just a stopgap if you want it to not be a stopgap.
Yeah, it's a perfect opportunity for the licensee / manager to prove to the parent in a way that this is a good role, career as well.
Yeah. And kind of also, if it's a first job, that the person is safe, because again, the stigma of pubs is that sometimes they aren't so safe.
They know the protocols around alcohol, being in a business with a alcohol license. I don't know how I would personally feel about if my parents joined me at my first interview, but I think for a 16-year-old, it could be really helpful.
Yeah.
I've heard stories about people having their mum or their dad with them. I think we've had Will from the podcast. He had his dad with him accidentally. He wasn't supposed to be there, but accidentally at his interview. And it didn't deter him. It didn't affect it. If anything, it made his dad more confident in the role because his dad was a local there. Yeah. So going back to CVs, talking about, especially if you're entry level, what you can put on your CV. Obviously there's a lot. There's your hobbies. I like reading and walking and playing football. But there's also aspects that you probably wouldn't have thought of. For example, social media. Yep. The younger generation, I say that as if I'm not Gen Z.
Yeah, you're still in there.
I'm still young. They have the power of understanding social media.
Yep.
And
to a very different degree.
To a very different degree, and understanding it so well that you could do someone's socials at the pub. So making sure that you have proficiency on your CV. So understanding Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
Yeah, because I feel like it comes from that element, especially now the trend is that I think it's called user generated content. So the actual real life scenarios, what's happening behind the bar, maybe interactions between customers, that is what is more desired than just a poster or a really high level edited, planned out social media thing. Like, and if you know how to pick up the camera, if you know what's trending, if you know what, this angle is best or whatever.
Yeah.
Or even if you don't.
Instead of saying, I doom scroll on TikTok for 5 hours a day, put on your CV, I understand TikTok trends and content and create content.
Yeah.
Instantly, you've changed something negative
yeah.
into something positive that you can put onto your CV.
That would benefit the employer.
Exactly. If you have the time, or maybe your job allows you to, if you've gotten a job into hospitality, getting awards or certificates can also be very helpful. Even just putting that you've got a first aid course on your CV is very valuable.
There's definitely like, you could also look at what, I think it's like Google courses or Google certificates.
Yeah,
sometimes those go into it.
Google has some free courses, which, I mean, they take a couple days, maybe a couple hours.
Yep.
Doing that, one, shows dedication, motivation, effort, and it's also something to put on your CV. Just because you haven't got any experience doesn't mean that you can't go out of your way to find other things to put on your CV.
I mean, you could also look at, if we are going that way, Workforce we found a lot of free training that is just out there that could benefit CVs, like diversity and communication, how to work together as a team.
Yeah.
Those sort of like, they produce a certificate and they're still free, but it's showing the dedication that you put into this.
Yeah.
That you were willing to learn these things to make sure you are a better candidate.
Yeah, definitely, because all of that will build a picture of you to a potential employer, and all of that will be very valuable. So those are our big points. Personality, throw a little bit of colour in there if you want to. Making sure that it sounds like you. Probably the biggest thing. And then making yourself comfortable with the pub that you're applying for.
Yeah.
So that, one, you're not too nervous, but you're also not too cocky, because not swings and roundabouts.
I mean,
both ends of the spectrum can be a detriment, I think, in
definitely.
an interview. And if you're lucky enough to be in the hospitality industry and gotten a job at a pub or you're local, it doesn't just stop there. Don't just close the CV and think that's it. There's nothing more to do. Putting yourself for awards or competitions, so that you can then update on your CV. Because, I mean, I fall into this, but not keeping your CV up to date is probably not the best way to go about it, because you will eventually need to go back to your CV. You'll realize it's 7 years out of date, and now, oh God, you've got to go through and...
You got to think of everything that you've done in the last 7 years that could go on there and show, because you've changed a lot in 7 years.
Even in the last 1 year, there's so many things that you would have done, that if you keep it up to date, not because you're looking to find a new job, but it's just, one, it's a nice way to recognize what you've done and how you've improved in the last year. And two, it's good to keep that up to date, because sometimes even growing within the company, you still have to put your CV forward.
Yeah, you
Don't view it as it's because I'm planning on leaving.
And I feel like that does, like, it segues into when you want to expand your experience, having your CV up to date. Like when you go into awards, they always ask, why do you deserve to be here? What is your experience?
Yeah.
Put yourself forward. If you already have it written, you can just adapt that ready for any sort of competition.
Definitely.
So like, I mean, if you're in apprenticeship, we have our NETAs, which are Hospitality of the Apprentices of the Year, or training providers, all of that.
These are all potential awards that you could put yourself for in the hospitality industry. So there's Hospitality Apprentice of the Year at our NETAs Awards. There's even a free award, Workforce Heroes. it's something simple like that, small like that, but you can still put it on your CV. There's cocktail competitions if you're a bartender and you like mixing drinks. There's the
International Saloon Culinaire, which is at Pub Show, or Hospitality Food and Drink Expo, I believe it is.
Yes, and it's for chefs. Like there are plenty of competitions and awards for all areas of the pub and hospitality industry. So don't think just because, I'm in the kitchen and I'm just cooking food, there's nothing for you there.
Or that it's just a pub, because a pub also can have that element of just amazingness that an award can look for.
Even within the pub, so many people have sustainability champions within the pub, or brand champions, or social media champions. Recognizing your own achievements are just as important, and putting yourself forward, not just to put it on your CV, but for your own personal development, is the best way to go about things.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's all we've got today about CVs, cover letters, interviews, and awards. If you need any more advice around CV tips and tricks, recruitment, check out our careers page on biworkforce.org. We've also got mentors on there who, if you have any specific questions for front of house, back of house management, we've got you covered.
Or even look back at some of our podcasts.
Exactly. We've got a podcast with Dawn Lawrence from HJ UK who talks all about CVs, and she's the one that told us don't put your photo on your CV. Or the football group that you support. Don't put that on your CV either. So yeah, we've got plenty of resources, training, career knowledge, all on the website. And that's it. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
And we shall see
you
soon. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Bye.